Okay guys, I've got to pop into town, get some pizza boxes. It was shut yesterday, so I might as well do a topic on foreigners and Japanese marriage and divorce rates. So I just asked in the comments, does people keep it respectful? And this is an interesting topic actually, because it's something people talk about a lot, and statistics lie. And I'll try and explain why, and you might have an opinion on this as well. So divorce rates, they come from government sources, and that's all been put through the legal system and everything like that. So the actual data on that is 100% correct, but it doesn't paint the whole picture. So if you have a look at a foreigner and a Japanese, and then you can have a look at two Japanese. So if you have a look at long-term relationships in Japan, so there might be a person who's had 2 5-year relationships with different people but have never married. That doesn't count as 1 or even 2 divorces, does it? So depending how you see things, if somebody stays unmarried and they have a child and they might be in a relationship for 10, 12 years, and then they break up and they co-parent, that's the term people use now, that never gets put into the statistics because for whatever reason that couple has decided not to marry, and that's their prerogative. But that will never be put down as a failed relationship, so to speak. Which goes back to the foreigner thing. So I don't have any data on that, but I think anyone with an ounce of common sense would agree with this, is that pretty much all foreigners in long-term relationships are married. They've come to Japan either with their wife, like I have, or they've come here and met and they've got married. I think as far as long-term relationships go between foreigners and Japanese, I think the rates of marriage are higher. I don't think this can be disputed. And there's many reasons for this, and the main one is immigration issues. So they have the spouse visa. That's what I got. That's what many of my friends that are married to Japanese have as well. And if you were in a long-term relationship with a Japanese person in Australia, but you never got married and decided you want to come to Japan, like my wife and I, it's just not the same situation at all. So you will have a much higher percentage of married foreigner Japanese relationships coming into Japan, and when you have more of that, you can just extrapolate that you're going to have a percentage of them that fail, and that's going to show up as higher in the divorce rates. And it's the same in every country. It doesn't matter where you're from. People may quote official statistics of, let's say, 40% of marriages end in divorce in your country. That's on the low side, because how many people in long-term relationships never got married? They're not part of that. So some people come to the conclusion that 60% of relationships succeed. That would be at the highest level. That can't possibly be true at all. So while this topic's an interesting one, because I'm in an international marriage as well, you do get a lot of comments. And I've had a lot of comments on the YouTube, and these are obviously from guys that have been in a relationship with a Japanese lady, and it hasn't worked out, and they're most likely met here or whatever, and the ladies just didn't want to marry them for some reason, or that they married them and didn't work out, and they come to the conclusion that all these sort of situations are doomed, and it's just not the case. I just know so many foreigners with Japanese partners that are doing well. An interesting observation, it's just an observation, not a fact or anything, is I've never met a Western lady married to a Japanese man that's ended in divorce, but I have met some foreigners that ended up divorced with Japanese ladies, and this could be a thing too, I'm not sure. This is totally anecdotal, but yeah, I have never met one. So the real data on this is totally unavailable, just for the reasons I've mentioned, and everybody's opinion on this is going to be of equal merit, because I think we can all agree that while the data is factual, it doesn't present the full picture. And according to the data, the foreign marriages that end in divorce is higher, and this can be true. I'm not saying it's not true, but it's not a fact. And this is because of how many relationships, long-term relationships, don't end up in marriage. So depending how you see these things, I see somebody who's been with their partner for 8 years, 10 years, they have children, and then they split up, whether they got married or not. I see that as a divorce. It's just a piece of paper, as these people say, isn't it? So you can't have it both ways. You can't say, oh, I'm not going to get married because it's just a piece of paper, and then when it doesn't work out, don't call yourself a divorcee. So it's sort of a mind trick people play on themselves. So as well, the rates of long-term relationships between couples in Japan that aren't married, nobody can question this, is indisputably higher than it's ever been. So these relationships that end up splitting up, they're never going to reach the government data collectors. So I sort of shake my head when I see these sort of comments, because they're just not nuanced at all from people. It's people that don't really understand the whole societal situation, both in their own countries and here. And these people are often the most vociferous. They're the people who like to put their comments in bold or all caps or something like this, and I just really feel embarrassed for them. What would be an interesting statistic, even if it might not even be possible to get, is foreign marriages that end in divorce from the people that met here in Japan for the first time and then eventually got married, and for those who met overseas in their spouse's country and then came to Japan that ended up in divorce. That would be a really interesting statistic to know, and I doubt that that would be able to be got really. But just thinking, if a foreigner were to come to Japan, obviously they're going to be behind the 8 ball as far as culture and expectations and experience. So I don't think it would be irrational to suggest that these marriages would end in a higher rate of divorce, just for these reasons. But for a couple that's met in a different country and then come to Japan, I'd say there'd be a higher level of tolerance between the two people and understanding. And if you believe that sort of notion, then I think you can extrapolate that it'll be lower divorce rates. But that's just an opinion of mine, and there's no way that can be proven or disproven, really. So the biggest variable in any topic is the person's perspective and who they hang around and what their experiences have been. So for a foreigner like myself, if you're looking at the marriage situation, for example, I would have a higher amount of people I know that's in a similar position to me, because people that are sort of have life experiences, they tend to gravitate towards each other, and this can skew one's perception. So I'm always wary of this, so I'm always wary that I can be wrong. So that's why I don't appreciate sort of people with differing opinions, and they could be correct, but at least they could be respectful about it on people's channels. And a lot of people just can't do it. So I've had to ban a lot of people just for like silly reasons like this. I mean, just put your opinion out there respectfully, and whether it's right or wrong, whether I agree with it or not, whether other people agree with it or not, it doesn't really matter. You're never going to follow a channel or a person or whatever, or have a friend that has an opinion you agree with on every single topic. And having a channel here, I found some people, at least I've had to ban, sort of watched all my videos, really nice, but one they don't agree with, and they just turn into a venomous viper, and have to ban them. So just keep that in mind, is, you know, you don't have to agree with everything that you hear and see, and nobody's going to agree with everything that you say except the person in the mirror. So if that's the sort of thing you like, I suggest getting a mirror and just talking to yourself. If that's what you like to hear, your own information, your own opinions. So that's my advice anyway on this particular video for these guys. So when you have a channel and you do a topic, like I've got to pop down and get some pizza boxes, so I thought I might talk about something that might interest people. As a person who's got the channel, they have to decide how they're going to deal with these sort of people that just troll channels and whatnot. And what you'll find, if you have a look at channels, especially when they get bigger, they just don't bother responding to people or anything like that. So that's one way to deal with it. And the other way is, what I've opted to do is just straight out ban people. And that's it. Because the way I look at it is you're punishing those that contribute to the channel by not responding to any comments at all. So these people are winning by their behaviour. So the way I'm going to do it, and it's always been my policy, is an empty flat's better than a bad tenant. So I don't want to punish people who bring thoughtful insights and commentary to my channel. So that's the way I'm going to deal with it. And a lot of the channels that don't respond to comments at all, a lot of them tend to have very fluffy content and just doing very sort of non-confrontational or non-argumentative type topics, like flavoured Kit Kats and stuff like this, and that's not what my channel's about. And I want to have variety, so I want to be able to do what I'm doing, and just have a variety of things. So I don't want this sort of behaviour to sort of jeopardise what I want to do. And the people that support the channel, they appreciate variety. So everyday life, farming, cooking, cafe, whatever, topics like this, they appreciate a bit of variety. So I'm not going to punish them by not responding to comments at all, which a lot of people do. So that's my policy, and you're free to leave any sort of comments you like, and I'm free to ban you. So up to you. I've got to go and get the pizza boxes. So Package Plaza, let's go get some stuff for the cafe. Okay, pizza boxes. So I've got to get some little paper bags. Just give me a sec, I've got to choose which one. Okay, I think I got what I need, and I just need some foil to. And some bags, plastic bags. Okay, let's head back. I need a coffee. Okay, so heading back home. Just gonna find a place to get a takeaway coffee. The takeaway coffee situation in Japan at these 7-Elevens and Family Marts, getting better. I don't drink a lot of coffee, but sometimes I feel like one. Here we are on the topic of marriages. That's a wedding centre. Don't know if you got that or not, but that's a wedding centre. It's got a conference room. It's called Via de Mariage, marriage villas, and that's where a lot of Japanese get married. They don't get married in a church or anything like that. A lot actually get married at marriage offices, and then they go and have a dinner with. Usually it's around about 20 to 30 people. So the marriage receptions aren't that big compared to Australia, at least. I used to do wedding catering, and a small wedding in Australia is 150. So that would be considered a huge wedding here. One thing you'll notice too, with people that have had a Japanese spouse and they've got divorced, this is not uncommon at all, and it shows a little lack of perspective, really. If people get divorced in their own country to somebody from their own background, they'll usually put the excuse as something other than culture. So they might say, well, it didn't work out for X, Y, and Z reasons, or they might be bitter against their spouse. So they'll put it on their spouse, but they won't blame their ethnicity or anything. But people who get divorced with a Japanese spouse, they'll say, yeah, it didn't work out because they were Japanese. You know, it's just total lack of perspective. They don't say it didn't work out because I'm not Japanese as well. You know, it's quite funny sometimes when you sort of witness this sort of lack of perspective, and it's quite easy to find out who's at fault for a divorce when they give excuses. Most people who give excuses solely on the other person, you can almost 9 times out of 10 know the reason, that it was probably them. They just don't have any self-reflection or anything. And it's quite interesting as well when people are in long-term relationships, 5, 6, 8, 10 years, whatever time frame you want to put on it. People never ask them, why didn't that work out? What happened? And usually they don't blame the other person in that situation. They usually say, you know, things didn't work out or something like that. Some sort of very non-detailed answer. But when it comes to marriage, that's when a lot of excuses come out as well. It's quite funny, and it's, as a lot of people say, you know, it's only a piece of paper, but there's still a bit of there's a difference there. I can't put my finger on it, but there's a difference, even when people say that it doesn't matter, or when people meet a foreigner in their own country, and they might even be in a semi-long-term relationship, and they don't end up getting married for whatever reason, and they split up and the other person goes home. So you'll hear things like, it didn't work out and she wanted to go home. But no, that sounds a bit better than I got divorced and I failed. So there's a lot of difference. As I said, I can't put my finger on it, but as I said originally about the divorce rates, people in these long-term relationships, and they may even have a few in their lives, they never view themselves as someone who's been divorced. Even if they've been with the same person for 10 years and have kids and split up or whatever, they still think, you know, single but never married or whatever. It's bizarre. So anyway, pretty soon I'm gonna go pick up my takeaway coffee, and might even get some footage of a Kit Kat. I think I could go a Kit Kat as well. So people who like the Japanese Kit Kat content, I've got something coming up soon. So anyway guys, if I don't plug it, nobody else will. The Cat Cafe project with my stray cats, I'm hoping to open at the end of April next year, and I've got to buy me a coffee, buy me a cat food. So if you've got an extra $5, be very much appreciated, and that'll go towards the cat larder I'm trying to build up. So I'm building a supply of cat food, and if it's viable, I'll be netting around all outside and expanding the cafe into a rescue cat cafe outside. So that's something I want to do with my channel, and if that's something you want to get behind, just click on the link, and the buy me a can of cat food will be there. So, heading back home. There you go guys, there's your Japanese Kit Kat content. I'm just about to smash it. So anyway guys, I'm back home. The official distance from my house to the 7-Eleven is one large latte and one Kit Kat, or 2.2 kilometers, whichever you choose. So anyway, as always, hope you like the video.
Let's go back home.